Chemistry between actors is often taken into account when casting roles in movies and TV, but sometimes that chemistry becomes a little too real, and actors who pretend to fall in love on the screen start to fall in love when the cameras stop rolling. In this video, we'll take a closer look at actors who've had affairs with their co-stars. Andy Griffith and Anita Corso. Andy Griffith was the star of The Andy Griffith Show, a 1960s TV classic. Actress Anita Corso was best known for playing Griffith's on-screen love interest in the series, schoolteacher Helen Crump. But Griffith and Corso were also off-screen lovers. Griffith was apparently head over heels for Corso, and despite the fact he was already married to his first wife Barbara, he even proposed to Corso several times. Despite their attempts to keep the affair a secret, the entire cast soon became aware of it. The crew even played a practical joke on the couple when one crew member disguised himself as a waiter and delivered dinner to the pair's Hollywood hotel room, confirming the two were shacking up. But apparently the affair eventually ran its course, and the two remained close friends for years. Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn started an affair during the filming of Woman of the Year in 1941. They starred in 9 other films together throughout the years, ending with Guess Who's Coming to Dinner in 1967, the same year Spencer Tracy died. And their affair lasted until his death, making it a love story spanning 26 years. Tracy, however, never divorced his wife, with whom he had 2 children, claiming he couldn't divorce due to his Catholic faith. At one point, Hepburn even reached out to his wife, Louise, and offered to help her with her children, claiming the two should try to be friends. Louise, however, responded by saying, quote, "I thought you were only a rumor," and refused to acknowledge the seriousness of the affair. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall first met in 1944 on the set of To Have and Have Not. Bacall admitted she didn't find Bogart attractive at first, but as she got to know him on set, they quickly discovered they had chemistry, despite their 25-year age difference. Their on-screen chemistry was apparently so strong that the director changed the screenplay accordingly. Initially, Bogart's character was supposed to end up with another woman, but the screenplay was changed so Bogart could have a happy ending with Bacall's character. At the time, Bogart was still married to his third wife, Mayo Mitho. Their marriage was already on the rocks when Bogart and Bacall began their affair, but Bogart wasn't ready to divorce his wife quite yet. Instead, Bogart and Bacall carried on a secret love affair, meeting in cars on dimly lit streets and finding clandestine spots on the studio lot during shooting breaks. Eventually, Bogart got divorced and married Bacall. During his marriage with Bacall, he remained unfaithful and cheated on her with his secretary, Verita Bovair Thompson, who called herself Bacall's worst nightmare. Bacall gave up her career during her marriage with Bogart and raised their 2 children. But she said she had no regrets about devoting her life to their marriage, especially when it was so short-lived. Bogart died 11 years into the marriage. Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw. Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw met on the set of The Getaway in 1972. McGraw quickly fell in love with the Hollywood bad boy and left her husband, Robert Evans, for McQueen. She has called their affair chemical, saying there was an obvious, intense attraction between them, but also an element of danger in their relationship. The pair married in 1973, but McGraw soon found out McQueen was a controlling, jealous husband, and he made her give up her film career. He also reportedly cheated on her throughout their 5-year marriage. They divorced in 1978 after 5 tumultuous years of marriage, and McQueen died 3 years later at the age of 50. McGraw has expressed regret that they were never able to sort out their relationship and make amends before his death. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. John Malkovich and Michelle Pfeiffer. John Malkovich and Michelle Pfeiffer had an affair during the filming of the 1988 film Dangerous Liaisons. Malkovich was married at the time, though the director of the film has confirmed his marriage was already on the rocks when the affair started. And though his brief relationship with Pfeiffer was the final push to end his already tested marriage, the affair did not continue after his divorce. No one really knows how it ended, but both Malkovich and Pfeiffer went on to marry off-screen partners. Malkovich has since been asked about it and says he's blacked it out of his memory. Not because Pfeiffer wasn't a memorable lover, but because it was hard for him to imagine Pfeiffer ever even said hello to him. He was apparently so surprised Michelle Pfeiffer, who he must have believed was out of his league, was interested, he still couldn't wrap his head around the affair he had with her. Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford became famous for their roles in Star Wars, portraying Han Solo and Princess Leia. On screen, they had a chemistry that made the films special. But as it turns out, they had a special off-screen chemistry too. Fans had speculated there was an off-screen love between them for decades, but it wasn't until 2016, only a few weeks before Fisher's death, that she confirmed in her memoir, The Princess Diarist, that she and Ford had an affair for 3 months during the shooting of the first Star Wars movie. Ford was 33 at the time and married with 2 children. Fisher was only 19. The affair started after a birthday party for director George Lucas, when Carrie got drunk and was escorted back to her room by Ford. She became infatuated with her older co-star, but he was always a little distant, and even after her death remained secretive about his side of the story. Fisher apparently never fully got over the brief affair and held out hope their relationship would be reignited up until her final days. Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie. Billy Bob Thornton skyrocketed to fame after his 1997 film Sling Blade. That same year, Thornton's wife filed for divorce, and he began dating Laura Dern. 2 years later, Thornton and Dern were a known Hollywood couple. Thornton, however, struck up a secret romance with Angelina Jolie, who was 19 years his junior at the time and was an up-and-coming actress when they starred together in the 1999 film Pushing Tin. In the spring of 2000, when Dern was away shooting a movie, the secret pair revealed their relationship publicly and got married in Las Vegas, despite the fact that Thornton had yet to break up with Laura Dern. Dern explained she left their home to shoot a movie and while away, found out her boyfriend had gotten married. His relationship with Jolie, however, didn't last long, and they divorced in 2003. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton began their affair in 1963 on the set of Cleopatra. At the time, Burton was married to actress Sybil Williams, and Taylor was on her 4th marriage to Eddie Fisher. Apparently, they realized they were attracted to one another during a scene in Cleopatra that required her to gaze into Burton's eyes. Their on-screen kiss then lasted way longer than was scripted. Their affair became a scandal thanks to paparazzi and Hollywood tabloids. Even the Vatican weighed in on the pair and called the affair an erotic vagrancy. Burton was no stranger to on-set romances, and his wife Sybil was used to his infidelities. During his affair with Taylor, she had expected her husband to return to her like he always did, but this time he didn't. Both Taylor and Burton eventually divorced their spouses and married each other in 1964. Together, they starred in 11 films together. They had a passionate, intense relationship full of fiery arguments and heavy drinking. By 1974, their conflicts and drinking problems became such an issue they decided to divorce, only to make up and remarry 16 months later. The second marriage, however, only lasted 10 months. Despite their issues, Taylor always claimed it was true love, and he was the only man she ever truly cared about. Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg. When Ted Danson met Whoopi Goldberg on the set of their 1992 film Made in America, he was on his second marriage of 15 years with Casey Coates, with whom he had 2 children. Danson and Goldberg had an on-screen chemistry that led to a real-life love affair. Their affair led to Danson's divorce in 1993. But the fling was short-lived, and they split after only 18 months. Shortly after, Danson met Mary Steenburgen, to whom he's been married for 25 years. Whoopi has been very vocal about loving life as a single woman, claiming she doesn't desire to live with anyone. Now it's time to hear from you. Why do you think so many actors have affairs with their co-stars? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.